Now I recall my wife asking me, Peter, must you go to everywhere they invite you? And I said, they are Nigerians. Maybe if I go there, maybe you convert one. Because what we need now is to convert people. Let's ask ourselves, how did we get here? That is the question. How did we arrive at this junction? Those of us who happen to be lucky to live in Ikoyi and Victoria Land, I say to them every day, if we don't look for food for those who live in Ajegunle, one day we will not be living. Nigeria has become a case of where lunatics took over the asylum. And we don't know what lunatics do when you want to take anything back from them. They create a thing as if there's a war. So you run away. If a madman comes there and say, hey, everybody say, I don't want to touch this madman. That's what they're doing. We need to take it back. We need to become as mad as they are and take it back. They can manage it. You have a situation today where people are owing salary for 7 months and they're celebrating their birthday. How can you say a thing like that? How can you be celebrating when you've ruined people's life? People are dying and you're celebrating and people are watching it in TV. It's a crisis. And the only people that can stop that crisis is you. As governor, I come here, you know what people tell me? This man bought this house, this man bought this house. Where are you going to buy your own? Why will I buy a house in America? I don't live in America. I have nothing to do with America. It only cost me $200 to come here and go. Why will I buy a house? Americans should live in America. I'm a Nigerian. I live in Onitsha. That is where I should live. I go to South Africa. I go to everywhere. I say, buy a house in South Africa. How many South Africans have bought a house in Nigeria? How many Americans have bought a house in Nigeria? So why would Nigerians come here? You live here. Yes, you can own a house here. But not people. I come here as governor and Nigerians will tell you, oh, let's bring somebody and have a party. Why will I leave Nigeria to come and do party here? No way. I should come here as a beggar for you to give me something to take home, not to come and celebrate here. I have people who need food in the country. And Nigerians are celebrating here. And you go there and become them His Excellency. When you should push them to go back and do their work at home. So start telling them, if your governor comes here or local government chairman, do not be part of celebrating him. Tell him to go home and fix what he's supposed to do. Don't encourage him to waste the resources. He didn't come with his money. He came with your money. We're asking you to bring back your own. What we need to do is to manage that which is there effectively. Can Governor of California drive 5 vehicles at a time? No, I'm asking you people a question. So we need to fix it. Can Governor of California use 5 vehicles at a time? No. In your place, they use 30 and call it convoy. If it's not madness, tell me what it is. Or you think madness is when somebody doesn't have a cloth? No, there's first of all madness. That's what we need to fix first. So only in Nigeria that you elect people. They don't have car, they don't have anything. 6 months, they build a house, buy 20 cars, and call it for Thanksgiving, and people will go there. And they will be praying in the church, telling God to bless them. And the bishop will preach that wherever they got the money, should give them more when they have to call police. Because they know where the money came from. Everybody knows where the money came from. But they are still celebrating it. He comes to America and buy a house, and they said, if you see his house, and he's in choice areas. When he's in Washington, they tell you this place, this man owns the house here. In New York, this man owns the house here. With whose money? Let him show you his business. His daytime job. That earn that money. Why would Peter come and buy the choice area in Washington when he didn't own it before? A governor built a house that is unbelievable, and they asked, they say, yeah, I used to have the money. Why didn't you build it before? Hey, wait a minute. What are you telling us? And you're owing us salary. Even if you had the money before, you would have kept quiet. The rascality must stop. That's what we need to do first. Let's deal with this rascality first. It's when we stop this rascality that we can now... The greatest tragedy your country is facing today is that the managers of the country have never managed anything in their life. If a man has not created wealth or managed anything, he cannot manage public one. You suddenly find somebody who has never seen 1 billion and then throw him and say he's the governor to manage 12. Go and check it all over the world. All lottery winners went bankrupt. Why should governor of Anambra State have a lodge in Abuja? For God's sake, this man doesn't live in Abuja. Why would I have a lodge in Abuja? My predecessor bought it for 800 million. We furnished with 200 million, 1 billion, and we're spending about over 10 million every month to keep this house going. I said, no. What are we doing? It's too expensive. I don't live in Abuja. I'm governor of Anambra. I have nothing to do with the lodge in Abuja. We have to shut it down. It doesn't work. And they say we have to use it. We have 15 vehicles. 15 in Abuja. 15 vehicles. So 15 drivers. Doing what? Say, listen, we're not governor of Anambra State. And I have 15 drivers in Abuja. How can this be? And people give us the schools. That we need it. We even have a lodge in Lagos. Tell me, what type of rascality is this? I said, no, it cannot happen. We have to shut all these things down. We don't need it. Because it doesn't make sense. If you go today, we have given it to United Nations. That's where United Nations is, since they bombed their place. A year after I came, I said, no. Imagine the amount of money it saves us every year. I can go on and on. Because we have 30 vehicles, we had a fuel dump. Almost a filling station. For what? Why are you going to have all these costs? You come, if I tell you people the cost of governance in Nigeria, you won't be talking about investment here. It's wickedness of the highest order. And people do it. I was just talking to a lady this one. I said, on top of it, they add office of first lady. What a confusion is that? Do you have office of first lady in Florida? So why is it in Nigeria? The governor of California does not have office of first lady. It's the wife who should be at home and look after him. Why create additional confusion by creating another office with another convoy? Another set of convoy. If you pass their own self, it's longer than their husbands. And this is no, it's not a laughing matter. It's your country. Young man came out here and almost cried how he lost the auntie. Why wouldn't you lose the auntie? It is the resources they will use to build that hospital that they are using to build convoy. And that is what Fela is telling you. The greatest tragedy, I tell you, is all of you. Because what do people do? I was in governor for 8 years. You hardly meet a Nigerian adult who said you're not doing well. They will all call you His Excellency and tell you that since you came, things have changed. Even when you're seeing that nothing has changed here, in your face. Everybody is telling you, hey, that you're the best thing that happened to this country. Nobody could say to you, no, you're wrong. I'm just telling them when we're having lunch now, how we change school. When I came, our school were number 20-something in Wayeka and Neko. Of course, everybody knew that Anambra State, they did not go to school in 2001. And I decided I must visit every secondary school personally. I must go to every secondary school. Everywhere I go, I call parents in the school, call their teachers and headmistress, tell me, is there anything wrong? They say nothing is wrong. And you're looking at the school, no roof, nothing is wrong. And you could see that everywhere is wrong. You could see it. Nobody. I went to a school in Asia, one of our towns, and they didn't have a roof. And I promised to give them a check to do that roof because I decided money must go directly to school, not via the ministry, because that's where the problem is. So I told them, I'm going to give you a check, 8.7 million. I went there in October. And I said, I'll give you the check before December. The check didn't arrive. In January, I was doing a tour in that local government, and they normally bring school children. And when I finished talking, I said, it's question time. A young girl raised up her hand. And I said, my daughter, probably about 11 years or 12. Let me start with you. This young tiny girl, I gave her a microphone, and I said, Governor, why do you make promise you don't keep? The whole hall went wild. Her principal ran from where she was. Her principal ran from where she was, held her in the mouth. And I said, principal, leave this girl. In fact, because of how everybody shouted, the girl started shivering and started like crying. She's done the wrong thing. So I held her, said, my daughter, what is it? She narrated the story. I was wrong. I didn't do what I said. And I turned to the commissioner. I said, Commissioner, where is the check? Commissioner said, we must give this girl this check before we leave here. So go and bring it. The commissioner brought the check. I apologized before everybody. And I gave this girl this check. The principal and the teachers that were shouting at her ran back, carried the girl in their head, and ran out of the hall. But they couldn't tell me that story. Yeah, I want you to understand why I changed from what Fela said this morning. After that experience, I decided we have to do one thing. That's what Fela told you. I decided that every secondary school, their senior prefects must have my phone number and they must have a phone. And they must reach me directly. That's how I collected the phone number of all the secondary school senior prefects. I still have them to today. You can see SP, all of them from A to Z. And guess what? You could see how they want change. Every day, there's no day I don't receive texts from 2, 3, 4 of them telling me we have no English teacher. We have no mathematics teacher. Our roof is leaking. And this is this. They will send you the same test. You call your principal and say, what is happening? You say, no problem. But you've just received a text from the senior prefect saying the school is collapsing. There's no teacher. He asked him, how about the English teacher? He said, oh, it's wonderful. But the children have told you, no English teacher. The principal is telling you that the teacher is the best they have in the class. That is what is hurting your country. And that is what I'm pleading with everybody. Fela said it. You must die anyway. So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you die. It is actually better you die doing something noble than doing than dying a coward. We need to tell them no. We need to. It is time. Go to little countries and see how efficiently the airport, everything works. Little things. It cannot work in Nigeria. The reason why it's not working is because you have chosen, you don't want to die. And I said to people, I have been governor for 8 years. We didn't borrow 1 kobo from anybody. I can say to any number of person here, I can testify to you, we have the best road network of any state in Nigeria. Our schools were the best. Dr. Leo had just told you about Wilo. I don't know Wilo from Adam. I knew him when I became a governor. He told me he's a heart specialist. That he can do heart operation with this. I said, why don't you come and do it in Anambra State? He told me there's no hospital where he can do it. I said, you know what you're going to do? Give me the cost of all the equipment you need to do it. And I went to a mission hospital. By the time we calculated, everything came to almost $1 billion. I wrote the check and gave the mission. I said, listen, set it up. He's there, he's working. They haven't operated on me, but they're saving other people's lives. Why will I use that money? Why will I take that money to come and buy a house in Atlanta? Do I live in Atlanta? No. If I come to Atlanta, I pay for a hotel and go. This hotel room cannot cost more than $200 a night. I won't even pay if it's more, because I only want to sleep. And people come here and pay for $2,000 to sleep. If anybody takes $2,000 from me, I'll be awake, thinking they're stealing my money. Why will I sleep? It's only to sleep. But people come here, if see a man who has, I can understand Ben Bruce, who has had money all the while, he can tell me the type of hotel he's sleeping. It doesn't matter to me, the name of the hotel. All you want is to sleep. You're not going to buy the hotel. You're not the owner of the hotel. So don't tell me you're staying in Word of Australia, you're staying in this. A hotel is a hotel. You only want to sleep and wake up in the morning. And people do it with other people's money, not with their own money. You cannot. And that is the waste you see in our place. Nigerians people are using government money to travel first class. Who said if you stay on the other side of the plane, you won't get there? I've been flying all over the world. I don't need to. If I go to the airport, they upgrade me. Good luck. If they don't, you say where because you're using public money. Today, our people charter plane to Abuja. Do you know to charter plane from Enugu, for example, to Abuja is $15,000. It costs you 20,000 in airpiece. Same flight, 20,000 naira, and people will spend 6 million naira for it. And these are people who don't used to enter plane before we voted them in. Now I'm telling you the seriousness of it. For every trip they go, I saw it as a governor. I'm telling you my experience. They will write memo. There's 30 people who wants to follow me to Abuja. Nobody invited these people for a meeting. They have no reason to be in Abuja for anything. I repeat it every day so people can hear it. They come to the airport. They constitute a nuisance to the traveling public because they are the ones who won't allow you to greet people who have just voted you yesterday. They were building presidential lodge when I became governor. How can you build a lodge for president in Oka who doesn't live there? I said, how are we going to build it? Why are we going to have a house for him here? They say it's in every state. What, for God's sake? What the president doesn't live in every state? Does every state in America have the presidential lodge? No. So where did we learn this? Does every state have governor's lodge in Washington? No, they stay in hotel. So where did we learn this type of irresponsibility? But they want me to do it in my state. For God's sake, when Obasanjo came, I told him, I went to him and said, Mr. President, you are the president, you are plane, come in the morning, go in the evening. You don't need to sleep in Oka. What are you sleeping in Oka to do? No, you just come anywhere you want to go, you go and... But you cannot. He insisted he would sleep. His best friend, he insisted he would sleep. His people said he would sleep. I said, I have no place for you. But since you insist, you come and sleep in my house. Where I sleep and I'll go away and sleep somewhere else. When you go, I come back. And that's what they did. That's what they did. It will have cost us $1 billion to build presidential lodge. But Obasanjo stayed in my own place for 2 nights and it cost me 100,000 in the hotel outside. For those 2 nights he slept there. That's what I will spend 1 billion. Since he came, no other president have been there to sleep. 2006. And I've had a house of 1 billion, maintaining it every day, looking after it. When Jonathan wanted to come, I explained it to him. I said, I don't have any place for you to sleep. If you come, you go. Please. You don't need to sleep. You own the whole country. You can come back the next day if you wish. Or you go to neighboring states and sleep. It doesn't matter. And he came, he slept in Asaba because they have more money. I don't have it to spend. Only in Nigeria that people use bulletproof car and have 40 police. So what is the essence? And I can go on and on. You won't believe it. Most of your states today have 10 bulletproof cars, 80 million naira each. What for? Nobody wants to kill anybody. Nobody killed me 8 years. Why would they kill you if you're doing the right thing? After all, you live with them. Even if anybody wants to kill you, when you come out of that car, he will kill you. You're not going to live inside it. You don't have a bulletproof body. So all I'm trying to urge you as I conclude, my dear people, we have a country. The first thing you need to do is to say to yourself, all of us must now question the rascality